Nike is one of the most recognized names in sportswear, and its shoes are known all over the world, not just for their style, but also for their performance and durability. Behind every pair of sneakers lies a fascinating and highly sophisticated manufacturing process that combines science, technology, human craftsmanship, and global logistics. From the very first sketches of a new model to the moment the shoe appears on shelves or arrives at your doorstep, there are countless steps and thousands of people involved. This is the story of how Nike shoes are made inside the factory, step by step, and why their creation is such a remarkable example of modern industrial design. It all begins with design. Before a factory even produces a single pair, Nike's team of designers and engineers work together to conceptualize the shoe. They think not just about aesthetics, but also about functionality, comfort, and innovation. Designers consider the needs of athletes and everyday wearers, combining elements of sports science with current fashion trends. The process starts with sketches on digital software where different shapes, sole patterns, and material combinations are tested virtually. Special attention is given to biomechanics, how the foot strikes the ground, how weight is distributed, and what materials can maximize energy return or reduce strain. This design phase can take months, and prototypes are often made using 3D printers so that engineers can hold and test a physical model before the shoe goes into mass production. Once a design is finalized, sourcing begins. Nike works with suppliers around the world to gather the materials that will become the shoe. This includes synthetic fabrics, genuine or vegan leather, rubber compounds, adhesives, foam, and advanced textiles such as fly knit. Sustainability has become an increasingly important part of the process, so factories now incorporate recycled polyester, environmentally friendly rubber, and other eco-conscious materials. Every material goes through rigorous testing to ensure it meets Nike's quality standards. Samples are stretched, compressed, bent, and exposed to heat and moisture to simulate years of wear in just a few days. Only after passing these durability and safety tests are the materials approved for use in the factory. The actual shoemaking process begins with cutting. Large sheets or rolls of fabric and leather arrive at the factory, and specialized machines cut out precise patterns for each part of the shoe. The cutting process has evolved tremendously thanks to computer-controlled lasers and automated presses, which can produce thousands of identical pieces quickly and with minimal waste. Human workers still play a crucial role in inspecting each cut piece for imperfections, ensuring only the highest quality parts move on to the next stage. After cutting, the pieces go through stitching or bonding. This is where the upper of the shoe, the part that wraps around the foot, takes shape. Skilled workers operate industrial sewing machines to stitch fabric, mesh, and reinforcement panels together. In the case of Nike Fly Knit shoes, advanced knitting machines weave a single seamless piece of textile that forms the entire upper. This eliminates extra seams and reduces weight while also cutting down on waste. Every stitch is carefully placed to balance flexibility with support, ensuring the shoe holds up under stress without sacrificing comfort. Next comes the assembly of the midsole and outsole, arguably the most critical parts of a Nike shoe. The midsole is responsible for cushioning, while the outsole provides traction and durability. For midsoles, Nike often uses foam materials such as Phylon or polyurethane. In some models, iconic Nike Air units, transparent pockets filled with pressurized gas, are inserted into the midsole. These air units are manufactured separately in specialized facilities before being shipped to shoe factories. They're tested for strength and consistency, since they need to withstand thousands of foot strikes without losing their cushioning effect. The outsole, usually made of durable rubber, is molded into specific patterns that provide grip for running, basketball, soccer, or casual wear. Molds are heated and pressed into shape, and then the outsoles are cooled and trimmed. Engineers design these traction patterns with careful consideration of the sport the shoe is meant for. For example, basketball shoes have pivot points for quick turns, while running shoes prioritize forward grip and flexibility. When the upper, midsole, and outsole are ready, the lasting process begins. This is where the shoe really takes shape. A shoe last, essentially a foot-shaped mold, is used to give structure to the upper. Workers stretch the upper over the last and attach it temporarily, ensuring the shoe has the correct size, shape, and fit. Then the upper is glued or stitched to the midsole. This is one of the most precise steps, as even a small misalignment can affect comfort and durability. Adhesives are applied carefully, and heat or pressure is used to bond the pieces together. After bonding, the outsole is attached. Industrial presses apply heat and pressure to fuse the rubber sole to the midsole and upper. Workers check alignment carefully to ensure everything lines up correctly. Depending on the model, extra stitching or sidewall details may be added for reinforcement. The finished structure is now starting to look like a real Nike shoe, but it still goes through a series of finishing steps before it's complete. At this stage, additional components such as insoles, tongue padding, heel counters, and laces are added. Each of these has been designed and manufactured separately to match the shoe's specifications. Branding elements like the iconic Nike swoosh are carefully applied, sometimes stitched, sometimes heat-pressed, or even woven directly into the fabric in fly-knit models. Quality control inspectors check every detail, from the placement of the logo to the smoothness of the seams. Any shoe that doesn't meet Nike's strict standards is rejected or recycled. Once assembly is complete, shoes go through final quality testing. Workers flex the shoes, inspect stitching, measure weight, and check comfort. Advanced machines simulate running or jumping motions to ensure the shoes will perform as intended. Random pairs are even cut open to check the placement of air units or internal reinforcements. Nike's reputation depends on consistent quality, so this stage is taken extremely seriously. After passing inspection, shoes are cleaned, polished, and packed. Each pair is placed into a shoe box, complete with tissue paper and size labels. Boxes are then stacked into larger cartons for shipment. Nike's global logistics system then transports these cartons from factories, often located in countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, and China, to distribution centers around the world. From there, they are shipped to retail stores, online warehouses, or directly to customers who order through Nike's website. Behind this efficient process is a massive workforce. Tens of thousands of people are employed in Nike's manufacturing supply chain, from engineers and designers to factory workers and logistics managers. Although automation has transformed many stages of production, human craftsmanship remains essential, particularly in stitching, quality inspection, and finishing details. Every pair of Nike shoes carries the imprint of dozens of hands that shaped, stitched, checked, and packed it. Nike has also invested heavily in sustainability initiatives. Factories are now required to reduce waste, recycle water, and cut carbon emissions. Programs like Nike Grind recycle leftover rubber and foam into new products, including playground surfaces and sports courts. Fly technology, by creating uppers from a single knitted piece, has reduced fabric waste by billions of pounds since its introduction. These efforts reflect Nike's growing recognition that the future of sportswear depends not only on performance and style, but also on protecting the planet. Nike shoes are more than just footwear. They represent innovation, global cooperation, and cultural impact. Each pair tells a story of design excellence, advanced materials, skilled labor, and precise engineering. When someone laces up a pair of Nikes, they're not just wearing a product, they're stepping into the result of years of research, testing, and craftsmanship. From the roar of the factory machines to the hands that tie the last knot, every step in the process contributes to making a shoe that inspires athletes and everyday wearers alike. And so, the journey of a Nike shoe from concept to completion is a remarkable one. What begins as a digital sketch on a designer's screen becomes a physical product worn by millions. Along the way, it passes through countless hands, machines, and tests, ensuring every pair meets the standards of comfort, performance, and style that have made Nike one of the most influential brands in the world. Whether on the basketball court, the running track, or the city street, each Nike shoe carries within it the invisible story of the factory floor where it was born. What makes Nike's factory process even more impressive is how it balances tradition with innovation. While highly automated machinery handles cutting, molding, and pressing, there's still a strong reliance on human skill and precision. A trained worker can spot a tiny flaw in stitching or alignment that no robot can yet detect. In many factories, you'll see rows of workers bent over their stations, guiding fabrics through powerful sewing machines with practiced movements. Some workers specialize in attaching swooshes or overlays, while others focus on applying adhesives or inspecting final products. Each station has its own rhythm, and together, the assembly line moves like a living organism, each part dependent on the other. Workers are trained extensively, because even a small error, like misplacing a panel by a few millimeters, could ruin the fit or look of a shoe. This training not only covers technical skills, but also safety, since factories are filled with heavy machinery, hot presses, and sharp tools. Nike has faced criticism in the past regarding factory conditions, which is why it now invests in improved safety standards, fair wages in many regions, and audits to ensure compliance with international labor practices. It's a reminder that behind every sleek pair of sneakers lies the labor of real people whose livelihoods depend on this global supply chain. Another fascinating dimension is Nike's focus on constant experimentation. Not every idea makes it to mass production, but hundreds of prototypes are created and tested each year. Some test new cushioning systems, others play with alternative materials like plant-based leather, while others are designed to maximize recyclability. Research labs connected to Nike's supply chain simulate extreme conditions: freezing temperatures, scorching heat, rain, mud, and repeated stress tests. Shoes are bent tens of thousands of times in machines that mimic running steps, or slammed against hard surfaces to see how long soles last. When you buy a pair of Nikes, you're wearing something that has survived brutal tests long before it ever touched your feet. Beyond performance, Nike factories are increasingly places where sustainability is engineered into every step. Traditional shoemaking creates a lot of waste: scraps of leather, leftover fabric, rubber offcuts. Instead of discarding them, Nike pioneered programs like Nike Grind, where these scraps are ground down and turned into new products. You might walk across a basketball court or playground surface made from recycled Nike shoe material. In factories using fly knit technology, waste is reduced by up to 60% compared to traditional cut-and-sew methods. And with new initiatives, some shoes are designed to be disassembled at the end of their life, making recycling easier and more efficient. Sustainability isn't just about waste, it's also about energy and water. Many Nike factories now run on renewable energy sources, and water recycling systems reduce the environmental footprint of production. It's part of Nike's broader commitment to move towards zero carbon and zero waste, which is ambitious but critical in today's climate-conscious world. Factories are the front lines of that battle, where every process can be reimagined to be cleaner and smarter. From a cultural perspective, Nike factories are not just producing shoes, they're producing icons. Think of Air Jordans, Air Max, or Nike Dunks. Each of these models had its origins in sketches, molds, and stitches on a factory floor. Workers may not always know the global impact of the shoes they assemble, but every time one of those pairs hits the shelves and sparks a frenzy of collectors or athletes, it's a testament to their work. Entire communities and subcultures have formed around Nike shoes, from basketball fans to sneakerheads, creating a cycle where the demand for innovation never ends. Logistics is another unseen yet vital aspect. After production, shoes must travel thousands of miles to reach consumers. Nike has built one of the most advanced distribution networks in the world, with massive warehouses equipped with robotics and AI systems that track inventory in real time. Planes, ships, and trucks carry shoes from factories in Asia to retail hubs across North America, Europe, and beyond. What looks like a simple purchase in a store is actually the final step of a complex global journey, one that began with design and ended with a shoebox in your hands. For consumers, it's easy to think of Nike only as a brand, a logo, or a style. But when you pull on a pair of Nikes, you're stepping into the result of years of expertise, careful planning, and international cooperation. Every layer of the shoe, the foam beneath your heel, the mesh around your toes, the rubber under your sole has been engineered, tested, and refined by countless hands and machines. That's why Nike shoes are more than just products. They're wearable technology, shaped by science and human creativity alike. And as the future unfolds, factories will continue to evolve. Already, we're seeing robots take on more tasks, AI predicting defects before they happen, and materials being developed that are lighter, stronger, and more sustainable. One day, you might be able to design your own pair online, and within days, a fully automated Nike micro factory near your city could produce and deliver them. The dream of mass customization, where every shoe is uniquely tailored but still affordable, is closer than ever thanks to advances in factory technology. The story of how Nike shoes are made in a factory is more than just an industrial process. It's a story of innovation, global teamwork, sustainability, and cultural influence. It shows how something as everyday as footwear can represent the peak of science and art combined. When you walk, run, or play in a pair of Nikes, you carry with you the hidden story of design studios, factory floors, and dedicated workers who made that moment possible. And so, as we close this journey through the Nike factory, take a moment to look at your own shoes. Think about the path they took, from a concept on a designer's computer screen to a finished product in your hands. Think about the workers who stitched the panels, the engineers who tested the cushioning, the machines that molded the soles, and the global network that delivered them to your door. Behind every step you take in your Nikes is a world of effort, passion, and precision. If this deep dive into the making of Nike shoes fascinated you, don't stop here. Explore more about the innovations shaping the future of footwear, the sustainability efforts that are redefining global manufacturing, and the people whose skill and dedication make it all possible. And if you found this story engaging, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes explorations of how the things we use every day are actually made. The next time you lace up your sneakers, you'll know that you're wearing far more than just a pair of shoes. You're carrying a story of craftsmanship, technology, and vision.